What
Yeah,
year did you start watching wrestling?
I started watching wrestling when I was a kid, probably 1992, 92. Probably maybe 91. Got my first action figures for pro wrestling when I was about 4 or 5 and didn't exactly know who they were and used to play with them with like Spider-Man and Batman and mix them up. And I came to realize watching my homies down the block play with a wrestling ring, the light blue Hasbro WWF ring with the red, white, and blue ropes. They were out there playing with a bunch of toys. They had like Axe and Legion of Doom and the spike shoulder pads and Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior and these colorful Hasbro toys with the action, And I was like, wait a second, I got one of those at my house. And I ran home and I had Jake the Snake Roberts with the snake. And I brought him down the block, and that was my intro to pro wrestling, really. I went in the house that day. We watched, his older brother had VHS tapes. I saw the Royal Rumble. I couldn't believe what I was watching. And by 95, I'm watching Shawn Michaels win the Royal Rumble, and I know exactly what it is that I got to do when I grow up. That's enter the Royal Rumble, #1 win, and get Pamela Anderson to stand behind me when I do win it. And that was the goals.
So everyone's got the favorites when they're a kid, right? But you specifically, who was the guy you looked at who was wrestling on TV every week, and you said, hey, if they're doing it, I can do it?
You see that? That's the Shawn Michaels heart
good
right
man.
there. Yeah, I got a tattoo of a Shawn Michaels heart before I knew I was going to be a pro wrestler. Well, I always knew I was going to be a pro wrestler. I guess that's part why I had the heart. I colored it green later in the years, but it used to just be black and white. But yeah, I got that tattoo when I was 17, man. Shawn Michaels meant more to me than pro wrestling did, honestly. I didn't tell my mom to put on pro wrestling. I told my mom to put on Shawn Michaels.
Was he always the guy who you emulated, or was there someone else on TV that you thought?
I could not even begin to explain to you what this guy and this action figure, this Hasbro white trunks, red zebra striped action figure with the black glasses, black gloves. That was like a blankie for me. You know how like a little kid has his blankie and he carries it around like Tommy from Rugrats?
Mm-hmm.
My blankie was Shawn Michaels' Hasbro toy. And it meant more to me than anything in the world. I ran around thinking I was him all the time. I don't even know how to begin. Like I got kicked out of school. I created they ask you what you want to be when you grow up, and they put all the pictures that the kids draw up hand by hand on the wall. And I made me with assless chaps on, a broken heart over my dick, with hairy yarn on my chest, and mullet coming out the back with dangly earrings, sexy boy written on one leg, boy toy written on the other. And they hung it in the school. And then they summoned my mom to go look at it. And then they told her I was getting expelled. It's like, why would you let me create that art and then put it up on the wall and then let all the kids and everybody see it? And all the older kids are coming up to me in school like, oh shit, yo, we saw that. And I was cool from that moment on. Thank God for football. Honestly, football took over for me when I was in high school. And I got an opportunity. The school that was recruiting me is where John Cena went to play college football. And at the time, I'm watching John Cena on TV. I'm like, yo, I'm going to go to where he played college football. That will be how I get in the WWE. And so that's what I did. I went to Springfield College in Massachusetts, played football. I met John Cena there my freshman year. I asked him how when he's having an assembly with all the other kids and high school to freshman college football players. So we're all freshmen. We meet with John Cena, which he probably still does to this day. I think he goes and visits his alma mater, Springfield College Pride, and he talks to the football team, the incoming freshmen. And I asked him how I could be a pro, to which he said, finish college, talk to your coach, and find a school, kind of. So I ended up seeing him in 2012 in the hallway on the night that I debuted in NXT, and I said, hey, man, take me home tonight. And he went, what? And Take Me Home Tonight is the name of the song that is played in the Springfield College locker room every single time you win. That's the victory song, Take Me Home Tonight by Eddie Money. And when I said Take Me Home Tonight, Cena stopped in the hallway and looked at me like, wait, what? And then I said, I went to Springfield College in Massachusetts, and I met you my freshman year, and I asked you how I can get here, and I'm here now. And he was like, oh, shit. And then he shook my hand, and he went off. And then he watched me debut. And then he asked me if wanted to come to the ring with him after I went out there and debuted and got killed and cut a promo on Mason Ryan. And he liked the promo. And apparently Cena stood up backstage in front of all the boys who stood up and clapped because I debuted. Everybody stood up and clapped. Cena stopped to see why they all stood up and clapped. And then he watched my debut and he repeated the words, bada boom, realest guy in the room. Like I said it. And then he asked me if I wanted to come outside in the dark segment with Damian Sandow, cut a promo. I told him I had a tag team partner, which was a lie at the time. I did not have a tag team partner, but I was cutting promos with Big Cass for Dusty Rhodes, and Dusty liked the promos. So I would assume that Dusty would approve of us being together out there with John Cena. In that moment, I booked Big Cass, and I said, Big Cass is my tag team partner. And John Cena asked us to go to the dark segment with him. Damian Sandow's the intellectual savior of the masses. Well, John Cena... Big Cass is 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that. All right. And I'm a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that, Damian Sandow. You think you're so smart, you're the intellectual savior of the masses. How many dimples are there on a golf ball? Oh, you don't know. There's 168 dimples on a golf ball. There's 0 on my hind end. You want to know why? Because I'm hard body. You know what you are? You're SAWFT. Soft. John Cena repeated it, and then me and Big Cass were booked every single week after that for the rest of our career. And I just gave you the elevator pitch of my entire story as fast as I could so we can get through it, because I've repeated it so many times in my career that I hate backtracking. But that's how I made it. That's how I got on TV, and it never ended until it ended.